Bob Arum says that Wilder versus Fury Part 3, it may actually have to wait if they don't get crowds in this whole pandemic under order. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Also subscribe to my channel for the latest and greatest in boxing if you want to become part of the gang. Notification gang, please hit the bell icon. Shout out to the Super Chats, channel donations, the Venmo donations, the Cash App, and the Patreon family. We working. Sign up for ESPN Plus below using my link. It definitely helps the channel. Right now, people are in the quarantine, advised to stay at home unless you're doing essential shopping, going to the hospital or taking someone to the hospital, something like that. You're supposed to stay at home. So if you need some content, it's a good option. I personally have all three. You get with the ESPN Plus bundle, ESPN Plus, Hulu, and Disney Plus. All three of those apps, one price, $12.99. And like I said, maybe get you through this quarantine. Also, I revamped the Patreon. The Patreon family, we back. Eagles Army, let's get it. We back on Patreon, and I'm putting out content. Also got content for my channel members, Patreon and channel members. So I'm gonna be taking care of them, shifting some of the content that you see on the channel over there. So if you want to be part of the extended Eagles Army, you got to show your support in that way. Now, let's get into it. Bob Arum, he did an interview with Christina Poncher during this pandemic. I guess Christina Poncher got her own show, and her first guest naturally was Bob Arum. And Bob Arum was talking about the Wilder versus Fury 3 fight, and bad news is he's saying it might not go down in October. So just to keep you guys updated, Wilder Fury fought once in December 2018. They just fought this year, and had before Wilder lost and before Fury won, they had it scheduled for 3 fights. The third fight, the trilogy tiebreaker or whatever, for this year. But with Bob Arum saying that, I don't know how realistic that is, because October, there's only 2 more months in the year. So if it don't happen in October, if they have to move off that date for the second time, so keep in mind, Wilder Fury 2 happened in February, as I mentioned, and then Wilder Fury 3 was contractually supposed to happen by late July. But for obvious reasons, that's not happening in late July because we're quarantined and locked down and going through a pandemic. So that means it got pushed back to October. If it don't happen in October, I don't think it's happening in 2020. That's just my honest opinion. So basically, Bob Arum was saying that with the live gate that the second fight did in Las Vegas, because it was anticipated, 2 great heavyweights and good showmen, and they got the charisma, and they talk a good game and stuff, got people interested. It broke Evander Holyfield and Lennox Lewis record for live gate sales. And with that being considered, it did like $17 million in live gate revenue or whatever the number was. So he's saying there's no way to make that up. There's no way you can duplicate or replace that missing money. That's money from the fans showing their pledge and dedication, going to the concessions and buying beer and alcohol. And if you do an event with no crowd, unfortunately, there's really no way that you can make up for that lost money. So for a fight that big, they would probably just postpone it, because it wouldn't make sense especially for a big event. Because Bob Arum also said that Vasily Lomachenko versus Teofimo, he said he wouldn't do that fight with no audience. And that's probably because Lomachenko, he's a name, and Teofimo, that'll be his first pay-per-view, so they're going to want a hefty paycheck. Top Rank want to eat, the network ESPN want to eat. So with everybody trying to get paid, it's going to be, you're going to have to produce a certain amount of revenue to make it worth it, to pay for the fighters' purses, and make it so the companies and networks get their cut. Because if they don't get their cut, then there ain't gonna be no event, because that's not good business. That don't represent good business for Top Rank if they, paying fighter salaries, and ESPN as well, if they're paying hefty fighter salaries and not receiving much profit or losing money. So this pandemic, this is really something to behold. And it's, it's a hell of a way to start a new decade. I'll tell you that. They're saying boxing could possibly come back, UFC could come back, WWE could come back with extreme focus on health standards and limited to no crowds, things like that. Obviously, this is brand new for everyone. It's unprecedented. I don't know what's going to be next. I don't know what's going to happen for boxing, but I miss boxing. I'll be honest. I miss boxing. This is my sport. I've been covering boxing, but I'm really having time to really learn about myself in this pandemic. I've had a great time in this quarantine. Obviously there's things that I miss, like boxing, getting to see people, and just freedom. I know I couldn't go to jail or whatever. Just having overall freedom to move as I want. I'm an Aries. I'm headstrong. I can't help it. My big mouth. I can't help it. I speak from the heart. I'm real. So I like to romp. I like to move where I want to move, go where I want to go when I want to go. So that's probably the hardest part, but I've been getting real sharp, and you guys will see it on my channel. I got a lot of new stuff, a lot of new ideas. We just do plan, plot, strategize, on to the next thing. Wilder Fury. I will say this benefits Wilder as well. It definitely benefits Deontay Wilder. It benefits him in the sense that he took a bad loss. There's no denying that. Tyson Fury won. There are definite reasons to have kind of concerns about Tyson Fury's character with the whole cheating, glove gate and stuff. We talked about that. I don't even know what happened to Martin Carefoot. I don't know where he is. Is he even around? I haven't even heard it. He just disappeared. What a coincidence. But besides that, aside from that, Wilder lost bad, and he's already thrown out some people are saying excuses, reasons, or whatever you want to call it. He said Tyson Fury's not the real champ, and it wasn't my night. Felt like a zombie, 45-pound suit. So he's going to have to get it right. So I think based on how he lost, it would benefit him to have more time. I really believe that. Him having more time benefits him. It benefits him because boxing is 90 to 95% mental or better. And that's life anyway. If you tell yourself you can or can't, then you're right, no matter what it is. If you say I can't do this, then you're absolutely right. You can't do it. Or a person like me, I don't have no limits. I'm like Master P. I'm like Percy. I ain't got no limits. So if you tell yourself that, then that's going to be the result. Because you don't put a standard on yourself. You don't put a salary cap on what you could produce or what you can do or achieve. And Wilder, he just has to come back mentally. His strength stuff like that, that's not going nowhere. Being strong and being a power puncher, that's not gonna change. You don't just all of a sudden get weak and now you can't knock people out. I think what happens to punchers is they get comfortable with losses. They don't train as hard. They mentally fold, or some of them are shell shock. They got bullied or stopped or beat or whatever that made them lose, and they don't know how to take it, and they don't know how to digest that and internalize that and compartmentalize that. So you just see a shell of their former self. Or when a power puncher or knockout artist gets handled, it's like the bully don't like it to get bullied, and that kind of takes away from their aura. So some people never really recover from that. Once your aura is stripped away, because that's what struck fear in the hearts, made people hesitate that split second. Boxing is all about milliseconds, and if someone hesitates that split second because they're so worried about your power, then that's what it is. But after you lose, it humanizes you, and people say oh, this guy, okay, he's not really immortal. He's immortal like me. He can lose, he can bleed just like me. So once that's stripped away from certain fighters, you see a difference. You see a change, and it's really mentally. So I can't wait for this fight. Whenever it happens, I cannot wait, because I want to see how Tyson Fury looks. I want to see if Tyson Fury gets complacent, or does he really have Wilder's number? And I want to see how Wilder bounces back. But according to Bob Arum, we may not see that straight away. We may not see that this year, and that's unfortunate. But life happens. Life comes at you fast. We're in a pandemic. I wish more than boxing being back, I wish everybody health and prosperity. And, you know, rest in peace to Tony Harrison's pops. I heard that he passed. And, you know, this is vicious. Anthony Yard had family members that passed as well. Like, it's just cold. So I do want this situation, however long it takes, I'm with it. You know, however long it takes to see people back in good health and make it, you know, make the streets safe again. So some people are idiots and they're just out and about, and they shouldn't be out and about, you know. So I'd rather wait the extra time and get it right, so we don't have to lose more lives than, you know, we've already lost. Let me know how you think I did. Wilder versus Fury could be stalled out for 2020. We might not get it, people. That's just a reality. It's too big of a fight to happen with no crowd. And I know the promoters don't want that. You know, the promoters, they're going to have to make some changes. Like, ticket prices might have to go down. You know, I think people, like businesses, are going to want to increase prices when we get back, the economy back, and start going back to work and things like that. But people are hurt right now. Unemployment is through the roof. There's a lot going on, people. So we'll see how it all plays out. I wish safety to everybody. Godspeed. Let me know how you guys think I did in this video. Head over to the Patreon, become a YouTube channel member. We doing what we always do over here. We switching the game, we changing the game, you know, and we beat to the sound of our own drum. So, you know, we gonna turn up, quarantine or not. Let me know what you guys think. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. As always, hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video is Ego signing off.
So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button, and you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxing Ego, the future of boxing.